Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll. It's on froze, don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the shit follow code. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll. It's on froze, don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. I jumped off the porch and I started a wave. Y'all niggas was stuck in the fish tank. When motherfuckers see me, it's nothing but love. The real niggas know I got big brain. The reefer is potent, my flow is the coldest. I can't wait till I get a big break. Told the bitch I'm a killer, she said I'm a minister. Bitch made me feel like Lorenz Tate. I'm keeping it humble without all the stunting. I'm moving more solid than most niggas. Ain't no type of morals and no type of honor, and that be my problem with most niggas. When I'm with the mafia, we get it poppin'. I'm popping my collar like those niggas. Ain't looking for cod, don't want no tilapia when I tell niggas I'm going fishing. When I'm back on the hoe, gotta reel it in. And I ain't a nigga, I'm feeling in. Good spirits, bad vibes, number 5, you know that I'm working 10 to 10. I'ma go with the flow, but I'm sinister. Somebody should call up the minister. Hop off the flight, pull up on Venice. You know the sack on me look Willie McGinnis. Fuck niggas hate when I say I'm the illest. Ain't shit to talk about, you know my premise. You know I'm a dog, you know I go hard. But deep in your heart, it'd be hard to reveal it.
Hey, what's good, world? Well, as I always say, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind live stream or video, however you get to it. My name is Wood. Hey, shout out to my man right there, Sleeko Got Bars. That's his new joint that just came out today. I want to say you can catch it everywhere, wherever you stream or download music, buy music. You can check it out. It's called Follow Code. Shout out to him and his whole the whole team behind him, Moves Media. Probably get Sleeko on here maybe in a couple of weeks. See when the entire project is going to come out, and just talk about what's going on with him after a pretty remarkable 2019, 2020 from what I understand when I picked up on his catalog. But like I said, go check that out. It's out there everywhere where you would listen to music. Even if you listen to it for free on, I'm sure it's on YouTube. And then you can also check out his Instagram page at Sleeko Got Bars. Like I said, I had to come on here and talk about, also, I just mentioned it on the last video that just some, if you want to check out my audio only podcast, It's Always Personal. It's up on Apple Podcasts now. You can find that also on Google Podcasts as well as Spotify. It's Always Personal. I like that format better. So that's why I do the audio only podcast and talk about stuff beyond sports and, album reviews. Although, I do all of that over there too. But when I can, I get into other things. Another thing, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Also, if you like in the way any of the information is being presented, broken down, reviewed, previewed, recapped, analyzed, any form of engagement would be appreciated. You can share the video to your circle that's interested in the subject matter that I'm discussing. You can leave a comment, hit the like button, so on and so forth. Lastly, for anybody, I haven't really settled into a schedule just yet with going live, doing the live streams and whatnot. It's just when I got something to talk about. Maybe one day I'll lock down for it could be Friday night at about this time, or it could be before or late morning, Saturday or Sunday. Maybe Sunday might be reserved for like boxing talk. But if you rock with the show or the channel, you could definitely hit that bell icon that's next to the channel name, and you can be notified whenever I do go live, and you can check out whatever topic that I'm talking about. I know I'm all over the place. It's more of a lifestyle channel. And, if it's something that you dig that I'm talking about, then you can hang around and rock out with me for a minute. Right now, I'm getting ready to get into this part 6, which was the 6th episode of Showtime's limited series, Your Honor, starring Bryan Cranston. I had to sit with this one a couple of days. It was a bit of a slower episode, but something very important happened. Maybe one or two very important things happened. But and every show can't knock it out of the park. I mean, every show is just not going to be great. It's not possible. But this one, it just moved the show in a different direction. And at the conclusion of it, what gets interesting is that there's only so many episodes to knock out how this thing gets resolved. Because like I said, I don't believe it's gonna have a second season. I'm not jumping into any other stats this week with viewership or ratings or scores or whatnot, tomato meters, IMDb scores or whatever. I'm gonna jump right into it. This episode opens with Jimmy Baxter at the Desiato household. He takes he goes and urinates in the bathroom, dribbles on the seat with the seat down. He goes into Adam's room and takes a picture of Django with Adam's Polaroid. And then he also turns around this picture of the judge's late wife that was out on the counter. And then also while he's in the bathroom relieving himself, he finds an inhaler. And so this kind of confirms, that he has the right person that he thinks took care or killed his son. I've mentioned this before, I guess names like prescriptions and whatnot with information on it, I guess that's not something that's on inhalers. I don't have asthma. I don't know, but I was just assuming, and maybe I've never seen it on there. Now that I think about it, the one or two people that I've ever seen use an inhaler, maybe their name, maybe the sticker with the name or whatever isn't on there. I don't know. I thought it was, but that's how the show opens. The weird thing and the thing that kind of had me, my wife spoils shows for me. She's very impatient. She's not a big fan of series. I'm like, what the hell else do you have to do? I mean, we're stuck at home. We've been stuck at home going on 9-10 months or whatever it is. What else do you have to do but watch TV series? Unless you're working on, some new, whatever you got going on for 2021, but she gets to, things get her upset very quickly. And she typically picks up these, picks out certain characters in shows. And I got to hear all this mumbling during the episode. And she's mumbling a lot right now over young Adam. And I'm gonna be honest, man, him and how he's walking with this thing is really agitating, because he's defying or undermining everything that his father's trying to do to keep them both, to keep him free and to keep them both alive, understanding who he's dealing with in Jimmy Baxter. And now Adam is out having day outings and dates with Jimmy Baxter's daughter, Fia. And he just looks ignorant, man. He's acting like a cub. And it's real. It's about to get really real for him and his father. And I don't understand. The other thing that I don't understand is you have this teacher who's pretty hot and you're doing your thing with her. And now you over here with Fia. It's just weird. And I hate in shows when they make a character do something stupid to kind of move the show where they want it to go, or the plot to go where they want it to go. And this is stupid right here. But they just have him looking all naive and just like a gump. So they go out on this date. She picks him up or whatever. He's not telling her what his last name is, and he's not showing her where they live. So he's got some, gumption about him and whatnot. But she puts on a t-shirt that belonged to Rocco, her brother, who is dead now as a result of Adam. I've seen this in another movie, but The Town, when Ben Affleck was going back after he robbed the female in there at the bank, and then he went back and started a relationship with her. This is kind of similar, but of course, Ben Affleck didn't kill anybody in the town, but you know, he knew he had ulterior motives in dealing with the female that was in that movie that he fell in love with. But here's Adam. He's going out on this date with her, and kind of where it really pissed me, I had to join my wife in this. Where it really pissed me off was she asked him to smell Rocco's t-shirt. And then she gets into this bit about, you know, the person that killed my brother, he didn't only kill him, he took away my life with my brother. And it's like, how cold-hearted could the kid be? And how weird and uncomfortable could this be to continue to hear this? That's where I really would have been. I would have been out and, you know, Ubered back to my house or something and avoided this girl. You already got to keep up this lie. She later in the show, she accompanies him to his meeting or his interview for NYU, and he gets all this advice from her because he really doesn't want. He's starting to question whether or not he really wants to do this, and he kind of doesn't want to leave the city. And I'm hoping it's not because of his interest in her, but you know, it's interesting that Franny had his teacher and girlfriend or whatever hasn't texted him or called him this whole time that they've been hanging out. But that's going to make it even worse when everything settles and everything comes out that he did all of this to her, that he's taking advantage of her in this manner. The next thing is that we see that Mama Baxter is very supportive of whatever Carlo wants to do, the oldest son. He's out here trying to push his deal of becoming, or this thing about becoming, you know, a distributor of fentanyl and whatever, a mix of it or whatever his plan is to be independent and earn his own money. And he's another one that's undermining what his dad is doing. And I guess that's why his dad stabbed up the grapefruit in the kitchen. Like, he's on one hand, he's dealing with the loss of his son and the fact that he has to go out and get some retribution for that. And then I guess on the other end, you know, his wife, a couple of episodes ago, Fia, were creating problems for him. But now that he knows about Desiato, Judge Desiato, you know, he just has to take care of that. But Carlo and Jimmy bring some supplies back to the hotel, and Mom catches them, and they're getting ready to mix this stuff up or whatever they're doing. And their whole thing is that they're going to go over to Desire with Big Mo and Little Mo and make this deal. And I couldn't tell if they took 20,000 from them or more, but they already look bad because Jimmy is standing here at the meeting. It's already amateur hour. Again, it's this situation where we have this young white guy from this family that is, you know, the family is in the underworld of New Orleans and whatnot, but they're trying to do right for the children. But here, Carlo, you know, I don't know if he wants to prove something to his father or he just wants to make money. And probably, you know, under the name of being a Baxter, thinking that helps him out. But he goes over here to make this deal, take some money without bringing the product. I guess that was kind of smart in case they would have wanted to rob him. But Jimmy is here high because he put that patch on him. And Little Mo says, you know, something about your boy is over here all muddy right now. You know, it's not a good look for you guys, and it's real amateur looking. And we're gonna mess around with you and take this off of you, but this thing could go sideways at any point because you guys don't have. We can tell that you out here independent of your father and any of his people. So we'll play along for right now until we don't want to pay you guys, or we want to take advantage of them. And if you saw the trailer for the next episode, it looks like something goes awry because there's screw ups probably in what they're trying to do. We also have, the judge in this episode, the judge is turning the table on the cat that's trying to blackmail him or extort him with the $222,000. And the judge goes and tracks him down while he's out driving. Actually, he gets Detective Costello to give him some more information by running this partial license plate that he had. Tells another lie to get her to do what he wanted to get what he wanted from her. And then he goes and tracks down he gets to the second name, based on the partial plate and the make and model of the car and whatnot. And he figures out, he goes to this senior citizens home or something, assisted living, and he thought it was a dead end. We see him breaking down here when he thinks this man that has dementia. The older man eventually gets around to telling him or to giving away that the judge is in the right place. This guy took his Camry was taken by his son named Trevor. And while the judge is in the apartment or whatever, he looks around at a couple of things, finds a picture, and gets an understanding of who he's dealing with, and thereby letting him know how to deal with Trevor, which is once he does track him down while he's out driving. Although I don't know how that happened. Can you track down an Uber driver? But he gets in the car as Trevor is dropping off another ride, and he gets in the car, plants a cell phone in the back seat, and through his seeing the picture of Trevor as a youngster fishing with his father, he starts talking about fishing and asking Trevor some different questions to use to see how he's gonna tie off that loose end. So what he goes out and does is he goes and finances. He figures from the conversation in the car, he understands that he can get this boat instead of killing him, because he packed the gun the last time. Instead of killing this guy, his plan on fixing that is to go finance this boat. And he lets Trevor know that if you ever tell, or if the video that you took, if it ever comes to light, I'll quit making payments on the boat. Actually, I'd be locked up. I'd go away and the boat would get taken. And of course, Trevor, he takes Trevor to he tells Trevor to meet him. He calls him on the cell phone on the burner that he hid in his car, and tells him to meet him at the marina, and shows Trevor the boat. And Trevor is over the moon. He seems to be a little slow. He's a dirtbag anyway, but it works for him. Now he doesn't have to get the money, and the judge, it works for him because he's financed this boat. He has some leverage on Trevor, and he can keep him quiet indefinitely. And then he didn't have to go into his pocket with the situation that he was having with getting access to $220,000. The only thing, so at the same time, the judge is unaware that Jimmy Baxter and his right-hand man are following him around, and almost went to go into his house the night before and kill him. But he's completely oblivious to all of this. They get out to the marina, and that's when we have this week's biggest drama. Is we actually have the face-to-face confrontation with Jimmy Baxter and Michael Desiato. The only thing that helps Desiato out here, and we see these types of situations all the time where the star or the lead, the protagonist, is completely helpless or defenseless in what he's up against, but all he has is he has some value that he can leverage. We see this with Marty Bird all the time on Ozark, on repeat. But just before the judge got out of the car, another thing that was interesting was the confrontation between Eugene and Carlo. he stared him. That's the younger brother of Kofi Jones. When they came over there to do the deal and had that talk, as Carlo was walking past Eugene to leave, Eugene looked at him a certain way. Just quick note. But what was going on in the meantime is that Lee Delamere has still not given up on getting some kind of justice for Kofi Jones. So she went and got one of the cats that were locked up in the jail to snitch or flip and give up some information that connected Carlo directly being the cause of the death of Kofi Jones. Once she goes to the I don't know who that, the medical examiner that did the second autopsy, he says, he lets her know that he has DNA. And I guess Carlos' DNA is already in the system from being incarcerated for his previous situation. She calls right before the judge was getting ready to have the meeting at the marina with Trevor. She makes a phone call to him and tells him that we got great news, which at the time it was pretty solid. It was pretty solid information, and it was right on time based on what was getting ready to happen in the final scene of the episode. But she tells him, we got a DNA on Carlo. That's who killed Kofi Jones. And, I'm setting things in motion to take him down, and we're going to clear Kofi Jones's name. She's still doing too much. I'm wondering when Detective Costello is going to start doing too much. So anyway, what happens is as they're walking back to their vehicles, the judge and Trevor, they're confronted by Baxter and his gun, his muscle. And the judge is, he's out there. But they take him in some structure, some building or whatever. And the judge makes a decision to give up the extortionist. And before that, though, he convinces Baxter. He says, hey, you can't kill me because I can help you. And in the midst of all this, before he blows off his head and he lets him know that, he was pissed off at him and disgusted with him and how cruel could he be to have let his son die, still hasn't connected the dots that his son is actually the culprit. And of course, the judge isn't going to give that up. I guess if he has to go, then he just take it to the grave and allow his son to go on with whatever life he could have if they don't put two and two together. But before he kills him, he tells him, you need me because I just found out your son. He says Carlo, and obviously he has to know something because he would have no reason to know Carlo. But he tells him, we have Carlo is about to be arrested. There's DNA evidence against him with the murder of Kofi Jones. Baxter knows who Kofi Jones is. All of this has kind of been divulged or been kind of come to light as this timeline got put together thanks to Big Mo. And so he takes the judge at his word and understands, and the judge tells him, I can have the case. I can make sure that it pops up in my court. I can steer the trial how I need it to go. So at the end of the day, your son goes free. So you got to keep me alive and put your gun away. Only thing is, Baxter looks over at Trevor, who's been knocked out by the muscle guy. And he said, well, what does he know? What is he here for? What was going on with this? And he's like, he knows everything. So Baxter shoots him and kills him. My question would be, if they didn't throw him in that river or lake or whatever it was, if they didn't dispose of the body, and if he is to be found at some point, I'm wondering if Costello remembers this name as one of the four that was on her screen. At some point, Costello is gonna do something, gonna be involved in some capacity. I would expect over the next 3 or 4 episodes. Other than that, man, that's pretty much it. The only other thing is that Michael the judge had that discussion with Charlie, just telling him that if something happens to me, This was when he was going to meet Trevor. But if something happens to me, can you look out for my son? And Charlie is like, yeah, no problem. That's my godson. So other than that, that's pretty much the end of the episode. I don't know. What do you think about? Is that the relationship that you thought, or is that the way you saw this thing playing out? That they would have to join forces a little bit and kind of be working together, like that's the connection between the two. I don't know if it was telegraphed and whatnot, or if I really don't like it. I don't know. I'm kind of just tuning in to see how it plays out. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and just see what happens. But with 4 episodes, I mean, how far can they get into the proceedings on Carlo? It would seem like they got to do a lot of stuff in 4 episodes. And how does we saw the conversation between Fia and Jimmy Baxter about wanting to meet this new boyfriend that she has. And she's already asking questions about what's your last name? Where do you live? Incidentally, that's why the show isn't already over. And that's why the judge didn't get killed by Jimmy Baxter's right hand. I'm going to get that dude's name in a minute before the next video. But that's why I didn't kill him the night before, was because Fia brought Adam home, and the gunman saw Adam walking up to the house and go in as he had exited their Land Rover or whatever. But before he could go do the deed, Adam came home. And that lets us know that they still don't believe that Adam had any role in Rocco being killed, because, he didn't go in and just kill both of them. So at some point, that's the two things. Damn. At some point, it's a rail car accident in some city. But at some point, something has to take place between Costello and with Detective Costello. I guess Lee Delamere continued to mix things up. And then something's gonna happen where Jimmy Baxter puts 2 and 2 together with Adam. So that's it, man. Let me know you where you at with the show. You still interested in it? It's kind of disappointing you. You're excited, you're excited, optimistic about these last 4 episodes, and we'll go from there. That's it, part 6. Let me get on out of here. Again, hit that notification button if you want to know when I'm going live and talking about whatever, depending on what you check out on the channel. And again, I'd appreciate any feedback on what your thoughts are with the show. Your Honor. Back to this Sleeko as I get on out of here.
Maybe one day you can live how I'm living. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll, wrist on froze. Don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll, wrist on froze. Don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. I'm beating the odds, you niggas be flawed. You giving the real niggas bad names. Play with the guard, pull up like Rashad. You think it was Sunday at Cascade. I pull up like the Hoosiers, I be with some shooters. But now we on hoop on this campaign. Like a bitch with some hooters, she wet like a scuba, so she wanna fuck with my campaign. I come from the bottom, and now that I got it, you niggas can't tell me a damn thing. I put in the hours and count up the profit, the pistol up under the lampshade. I pray every day when I'm leaving the house. Every night I be giving the man praise. Trying to run up the guala, you know ain't no stopping with me and JR on the fast break. One thing about it, I really rap. If I said it, I mean it, I'm really that. Hit the mall and I blow it, I get it back. All gold, everything like I'm Trinidad. I'm a guard with the flow, but I'm sinister. Somebody should call up the minister. When I'm in the building, it's usual.